If we grew up in a dysfunctional home where there was emotional abuse or we learned to be codependent, there's no doubt that we also learned to be very, very critical. The whole dynamic and the whole mood, the whole energy in the house was one of negativity and criticism. So we learned to criticize ourselves, and then we learned to criticize others. So we can do something about this. And in today's video, what I'm going to do is present to you a tapping script that we can do to bring to the surface just how deeply that criticism goes. We can tap about this and start to bring our awareness to just how much we criticize ourselves, because if this is what we saw growing up, we do it all the time and we don't even realize it because it's just our way of being. So, quick introduction. My name is Renee. I'm an intuitive healer, and it's my mission to help people to heal from codependency and abuse and to learn how to love themselves and to know their value. And as I said, what we're going to be doing today is some tapping. So we will do this together. You can tap along with me. And if you're wondering what tapping is, it's brand new to you, don't worry. I have a bunch of resources on my channel about tapping. I also have a book and an online course to give you the basics, or you can just simply follow along and try it out. I hope you will. It's a very effective technique. So as we go through this tapping, as I always say, if there's anything that I say that isn't accurate for you, please insert your own statement of something that is accurate and reflects your experience. I'm going to be addressing both criticism of self and criticizing others, because they're really interwoven. It's really comes from the same place. And I have some really important nuggets within this tapping script, so please stick around. Okay, here we go. Tapping on the side of the hand. Here we go. Even though I learned to be critical, I choose to love myself anyway. Even though I learned to criticize myself, I learned to criticize others. And this is all that I have seen. I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Tapping through the points. I saw so much criticism growing up. So much negativity in my house. There was always something wrong. Either the situation or something about me. There was tremendous focus on details. And every little thing I did was scrutinized and criticized. It seems like there was always a problem, that someone was always unhappy. And it wasn't okay to be happy or content. I was criticized so much growing up. I was always being torn down. There was so much focus on what I did wrong. And nothing on what I did right. And the effect of this is that it really hurt my self-confidence. It damaged my self-esteem. And it modeled for me how to be critical of others. I know this about myself. I catch myself being critical of myself. I catch myself being critical of others. And it's something I really don't like. it has really done a lot of damage. I can be really negative and pessimistic. And then I feel bad about that and feel worse. So I have some questions to ask myself. What is the payoff for being critical? What is it doing for me? Even though this is what was modeled for me, I know I can choose another way. But what is the payoff? What is the reason for being critical? Being critical allows me to feel powerless. It allows me to feel like a victim by keeping me in unhappiness and misery. When I was criticized when I was young, it served as a way to control me. And that control was a cover-up for fear. My parents were very fearful. But the way that fear came out was through criticizing me so that I would act in certain ways. And if I acted in certain ways, then I would maybe make them happy. But of course, that never really happened. So it kept me on this hamster wheel of people pleasing. And so I learned how to criticize others. I learned to focus on the negative. I learned to focus on the tiniest details. Everything has to be just right. Everything has to be perfect. And I find myself very observant of these little details and noticing imperfections. Because that's how I was treated. I was micromanaged. I was controlled on the tiniest level. And it taught me to do this to other people too. And I really don't like this about myself. And that's why I'm doing this tapping. I'm tired of feeling unhappy. I'm tired of being unconfident. I'm tired of feeling powerless. And I'm taking responsibility for my happiness now. All of this criticism is motivated by fear. Fear of not being in control. Fear of owning my power. It's a way of staying small. It's a way to stay unhappy. And anything that is coming from this place of fear and scarcity is not something I'm going to continue any longer. Fear and scarcity and perfectionism are not coming from a place of love, are not helping me to live from my higher self. They're only keeping me small and unconfident. It's only keeping me from loving myself and loving other people. I find myself being critical of my partner, of being critical of my friends, or just anyone that walks by. I can find the fault real fast. And now I see where this comes from. This comes from fear and lack mentality. It comes from feeling like you're not enough. Because my parents didn't feel like they were enough. And instead of dealing with that pain, they took it out on me. They passed their self-hatred down to me. Well, that stops here. The cycle stops here with me. I allow myself to be imperfect. I allow myself to focus on the positive. It is not weakness to focus on the positive. It is not weakness to be happy. My strength and power come from the positive. It comes from the light. Not from fear, negativity, or lack. I don't need to control others. I don't need to keep putting myself down either. Because my source of strength comes from within me. It comes from my connection to the universe. And I allow myself to be happy. I allow myself to radiate the light within. And it feels so good to make this shift. I don't have to keep being critical. I don't want to keep being critical. I choose a more positive outlook. I choose to know that life is abundant and that I am supported. And I love and accept myself 100%. Okay. Take a deep breath, inhale, and then exhale. Repeat this often. As you start to clear that out, revisit this tapping script often, this topic often, because this is really, really deep. So keep tapping, keep moving forward, and know that you can shift criticism of yourself, criticism of others, and come back into a place of knowing you are supported, you are enough, there is enough to go around, that your power is in this present moment. Thank you so much for tapping along with me and doing this healing work on yourself. Take care, be strong, stay the course, and I will see you in the next video.